So, here we are on a state of play day. What the hell was that? I don't know what I was about to say, but it was just like, it's a thing. Yeah, like I think like you said, it was like I didn't realize that. I was like, yeah, it is the first week of June or whatever. This is usually when we start seeing like the summer games fest. You know, what would be normal E3 time, but no E3.
It's reveal season.
It is the summer reveals basically. So there's that.
So Sony is kicking off with.
Looks like Sony's kicking us off with the state of play. But before that, hello and welcome to another episode of It Never Ends. I'm Andrew. Over there's my good buddy Alex. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty goddamn good. All right.
Yeah.
So like we said, we got the state of play here. It was pretty cool, I guess. There was some interesting stuff shown off. Got a new. I don't know if it's a new trailer for Silent Hill. It's a Silent Hill F or whatever. It was interesting. It was creepy looking, as you'd expect Silent Hill to be.
Before we start, general impressions, like scale of 1 to 10. What would you give the state of play?
It was all right. I'd give it like a 6, 7. I don't know. There wasn't just a lot I was interested in. It was fine though.
The new Silent Hill looks really good, actually.
It does.
It looks very Silent Hill.
It does. It does look. It looks very creepy and very Silent Hill-y.
Mm-hmm.
You can say it like that. I don't know.
I know that a lot of people have a problem with, it doesn't actually take place in Silent Hill. Cool. A lot of games in the series don't actually take place in Silent Hill, dude. It's like, get over it.
I think the last time we talked about Silent Hill, we have like said the same thing with like, what if Resident Evil? Well, Resident Evil doesn't take place always in Raccoon City, but that doesn't matter to people.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, come on.
Let's all be real mature about this.
Exactly. At this point, it's just the franchise, the name, or whatever of it, or I don't know. Who cares? So, that was kind of the big one early on. Didn't realize there was a Digimon game coming out, and I didn't realize there was already a Digimon game that came out. It's crazy.
Bro, Digimon games are coming out all the time.
I know.
It feels like a series that would be really cool to be into. Since I don't know fucking shit about Digimon, though, it's like...
Digimon was something that, like, I swear to God, was, like, cool when I was a kid, basically. And
was
then,
it
like,
cool?
I mean, it
Here's
was okay.
The thing. When Digimon came out, I think it was, like, cool and popular with maybe, like, some groups of children. I remember when it came out, everyone was like, "Oh, it's just a fucking Pokemon ripoff."
Well, yeah, everyone said it was a Pokemon ripoff, and then they started watching it, and they were like, "Oh, this ain't half bad," type thing, and then just kind of went from there. And then it felt like it died out, and just kind of went away, and now it's back.
I mean, it's been back and like popular again for like the last few years. It's like for years now they've been creating new Digimon games.
I know, it's weird. I still find it weird. That's all I'm going to say about it. It just feels weird. Oh, man.
You know what I thought was actually pretty cool looking?
Yeah?
One of the trailers near the beginning that called Romeo is a Dead Man. I think looks...
That was a weird one.
It looks very Suda51. And if you it's kind of like if you know type of scenario. It's very... weird, very out there, but very appealing.
It's very different.
So you a big Digimon guy? Excited for the new Digimon game?
No,
no.
I haven't been in Digimon in fucking years. I just find it funny. It's like when I talk about like old stuff or whatever that was like I would not in a million years see come back or whatever. It's like Digimon, fucking Beyblades and Bakugan or something like that, and I'm like, you're gonna tell me that these three franchises come back for even a small amount of time and have some bit of relevance? Get the fuck out of here! Oh
man, keep Blades and Bakugan out of here forever. I never let those two things come back. Those were like literally the worst.
Like they tried for both of them, and then I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Bakugan definitely didn't stick, and Beyblades, I don't know what the fuck. Just thought it was funny.
Yeah. For a while, my little brother was into Bakugan, and it made me so mad because I just thought it was so dumb.
Yeah, it was silly. But is it that much more sillier than like having spinning tops with gods in them basically, and then they just battle one another?
Okay, it's equally as dumb.
Look, everyone was trying to find that Yu-Gi-Oh equivalent, and some people went really crazy with it.
Yeah. Everyone wanted to be the next Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon TCG, and not everything worked out.
Yeah, they were always just trying some weird, crazy shit. Oh man.
Then you got into like the really obscure shit like Battle Masters and
Battle Masters.
Although I swear we've talked about this before.
Oh, absolutely we have. But yeah, that's the real obscure shit that I'm pretty sure is actually kind of collectible nowadays. This is very funny. Do you remember when like what was it, like Mega Man had like? Did you ever have like the the pet or whatever, where it was like you'd have like the Mega Man
Oh,
thing.
what
you'd
is
have, like,
that?
the chips you stick
Tamagotchi.
in. Well, it's kind of like a Tamagotchi type thing, but it's like you had like Mega Man. You could like battle viruses and whatever if you walked around with it, and you'd have like these little chips you could put on the top or whatever, like you would in like the old games or whatever.
What the? No.
Oh my
I don't
God.
remember that.
I have to find this because I remember having one of these as a kid. And it was weird. Pet toy. Yeah. Oh man, it was from the Battle Network days. Oh, what a phenomenal time that was.
Was it like the Hyperscan?
No, it's just called the Mega Man Pet. Is what it was called.
The fucking Mega Man Pet?
Yeah. It was the Mega Man Advanced Network Warriors Pet with battle chips. And it was basically just like you could walk around with like a Mega Man or whatever, battle viruses, and then you'd have like these chips that you'd actually have to buy.
Oh my God.
Stick them in on the top, and your Mega Man would be able to use the moves basically, and you could battle against your friends or whatever. When did this come out?
So you had one of these?
Yep.
Dude, you were a freaking dork.
I was a fucking nerd.
I mean that in the nicest possible way.
Absolutely. Like I'm not denying what at all. It's just like, yeah.
That was cringe too. But my goodness. This looks so Japanese, by the way. I'm impressed that you managed to get one in the US.
Oh, I'm trying to. When did they come out? I remember having them in grade.
2004, it says here.
Fuck me, man. Jesus Christ, Christmas.
They are pretty collectible nowadays.
Yeah. I wish I knew where mine was. That was good times. Good times.
Some people had Tamagotchis. You had
some people had Tamagotchis. I had the Mega Man Pet. Oh, I have to go back to my parents' place and see if I can find this fucking thing. If I can, I will show it off on this podcast, and it will be awesome. It's basically like what Pokemon Go became. Like it was just like the first iteration of Pokemon Go. They just didn't know that existed.
So could it interact with like an actual Mega Man game, or
no? It would interact with other pets because you could battle along like kind of like in the game. Have you ever played the Mega Man Battle Network games?
No.
So
absolutely not. I never knew they existed until after college, even.
Oh man, they're. I was like, I only played Battle Network 3, and it was like, and the whole thing was that like, oh, you're like LAN or whatever, so you're like running around or whatever, and then you could like jack in Mega Man into like these different electronics basically, and like go fight viruses and stuff like that. And so that was like the whole thing, is that then with these pets that you could then like do friendly battles with like other Mega Man people or whatever type thing. Like you could fight Guts Man and everything like that, and it was just like,
actually does look pretty cool. It's a strategy game, right? Not the normal Mega Man stuff. The Battle Network games.
Yeah, it's kind of how to describe them. It's kind of because it's like you basically like it's like there's like three platforms on each side. Like when you fight a virus, it's like you have your three platforms on your side, and then like the viruses themselves have three platforms on their side, and you have like these like you basically have to wait for a bar to fill up, and then you'd have like the special moves to be able to do, which is just like the swords, the like powerful blast things or whatever. That was where you do a majority of the damage.
Okay.
And you just like kill viruses, and then when you kill the viruses, then you get like a chip basically that you can then use to upgrade your deck in a way. And then that's basically just how you progress through the game. It's a fun game. They recently remastered it not that long ago. All the
I
Mega
saw
Man,
that part of like the
Battle Network games. So, if you haven't played them, they're actually quite fun.
Nice.
Anyway,
I can add them to my backlog then.
Yeah. Anyway, back to what we were. How do we get to fucking Mega Man?
I don't remember. We talked about
We were talking about Digimon and then just went off the rails from there. It's fine. Anyway, how do you feel about the game Baby Steps?
I think it looks ugly and it sounds terrible.
Don't you think of it as the new Bennett Foddy game?
Isn't it those games that he intentionally makes super frustrating just so people will get pissed at them?
Pretty much, yeah.
I despise that genre of games. Like
rage bait games.
Like, some people are like, "Oh, this is so challenging. This is so cool." It's like, yeah, it's not fun. You're a fat guy walking. It's like that stupid pot game of his that he made that everyone just obsessed over.
Getting over it.
Pot. Yeah, and a sledgehammer. All those stupid games nowadays where you're just climbing up a tower of shit for no fucking reason.
It's just a simple game about climbing.
Forgive the fuck out of me. I'd rather play something that, I have fun playing rather than something I am intentionally going to frustrate myself with. If I wanted to do that, I'd just play Dead by Daylight.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh man, just had to bring that one up because I thought it was funny.
There is one thing that I want to say I actually really like about the state of play before we continue on the bigger stuff.
Sure.
I like a lot of the indie games they showed off.
Yeah.
Like that one pirate one I thought looked pretty cool. There's
what was it? The Seas of Sorrow? What was it called? No, Tides of Tomorrow. That's what it was.
Yeah. I thought the Tides of Tomorrow looked pretty good.
It's an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm. What was that one made by that one really popular PlayStation studio? I have the August 19th. Please just show me the title. Sword of the Sea.
Oh yeah, Sword of the Sea, because it's the same people who made Pathless, Journey, Abzu.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one was interesting. It looked nice. It looked cool.
You know what was also notably absent from this state of play?
Kingdom Hearts 4.
That and no Wolverine.
Yeah.
You would have thought that we would have seen at least something, at least a cinematic or something from Wolverine.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, there was a surprisingly, I don't know, kind of little amount of, actual first-party games from PlayStation showing off. There was, a little bit of Ghost of Yotai in there, kind of announcing, a next state of play that they're going to do with, a deep dive into that game in July.
Is the James Bond game first party?
No, that's Amazon. Yeah.
That's weird.
I thought that weird too, but it was one of the things where then when it popped up or whatever, it's from the studio of Amazon. It's also the same studio that makes Hitman too, so it was just okay. Didn't realize they were owned by Amazon. All right.
It looks very Hitman. It also looks very Uncharted.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got of him. And I was like, is this a Hitman game? Is it kind of that kind of style, or are we going Uncharted? Is it going to be a mix of the two?
character that's supposed to be James Bond actually, at least in my opinion, does not look like James Bond.
Yeah,
That's how I would expect him to look.
yeah. It was like it's supposed to be like a younger James Bond, I guess. So it's like he's kind of just starting
Okay.
out, I guess.
That's something.
So
I just very much get like maybe like young Nathan Drake, even like Ethan Hunt vibes from him.
you know, not necessarily wrong. I didn't think about that until you just brought it up. So yeah, that was kind of
Man,
that was kind of interesting.
Man, they are fucking never going to make a Mission Impossible video game. That makes me so sad.
Oh man, could you imagine? Could you imagine they make a Mission Impossible game and they just have Tom Cruise as the like voice act himself?
Here's the thing. I want that. And like I bet any studio in the universe would be willing to jump on it. The problem is like other than film, for some reason Scientology doesn't allow
Oh yeah, that's right.
Tom Cruise to like portray himself in other mediums
That's right. I forgot about that.
for whatever reason. So it's like you can't have like Ethan Hunt figures or whatever, or you can't fucking, have him in video games or other shit. And it's just like, God damn it, dude! I want to feel like Tom Cruise for just a few minutes.
Yeah, I always felt like it was weird that that they never had like those. Like why have we never had a Mission Impossible or like a Top Gun game or something like that?
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, that makes sense. You always forget about that part.
Were there any other like big standouts to you in the state of play?
The Final Fantasy Tactics remaster
Yeah.
was really cool. I've never played that game, but everyone says it's like one of the best Final Fantasy games.
I'm actually really surprised that you've never played Final Fantasy Tactics.
Never played Final Fantasy Tactics. It looks really good,
Yeah.
so I'm excited for that one. That one comes out in fucking September. So I'm just like, right around the same time as Borderlands 4.
Gonna be a busy month for you.
Probably.
The one big thing that I did not see coming, it's a VR title, so I'm a little about it. But I did not expect to see a new Thief game.
Yeah. Right?
That one stood out to me. It's like, oh shit, is this Thief? Which, granted, the last one in the franchise was really, really, really bad. So
Damn.
I'm kind of keep my expectations low, but I fucking love Thief as a series.
Yeah. I was interesting. I was like, as I was watching the trailer for the Neo 3, I was like, what is that game that like it's a PlayStation Studio, but like it comes out and it's like a samurai like thing or whatever. I was like literally trying to figure it out, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's Neo, and then it's like Neo 3, huh? That's kind of interesting. I was like,
It's a pretty popular franchise.
it is a pretty
I'd say
popular franchise. I feel like we haven't had a game in a while, so I guess I shouldn't have been too shocked to see another one.
Yeah. In terms of like, Souls clones, that there are aside from like, you have like the good ones are like Lies of P. Obviously, you have. Then there's Nier, which I think is a Souls-like, and then Neo.
Souls-like?
Neo's always been the big one. Is Nier a Souls-like? I thought it was.
But I classified as a Souls. I mean, I've never played them, but I was like, I've seen people play them. I don't know if I necessarily classify it as a Souls-like. I mean, it might be. I was thinking like Black Myth Wukong or something like that, or like.
Okay, yeah. Black Myth Wukong is a better example.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I was thinking. Maybe I was confusing it with Neo for whatever reason.
Maybe.
They both start with N and both have 4 letters.
It's true.
So I had silly brain.
Close enough, right?
Seems okay. Like you said, didn't see a whole lot of first party stuff.
Not a ton. Like, I was kind of like expecting to see if there was going to be like, I don't know, like the Wolverine game, like you were talking about. Potentially something God of War-y if we're getting another God of War from Sony Santa Monica.
When are they planning on showing off this new like MMO Horizon game?
That's another
Like,
great
are we
question
even
too.
gonna get a? We haven't even got an announcement or like a title drop for it.
Nope. I really do wonder if Concord scared that one off.
Last we heard, PlayStation is still big into their live service plans.
Yeah.
I know a lot of games got canceled, but if they canceled literally everything, then that means everything in terms of their first party is going to be like years behind.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. If I was them, I'd at least try to get something out of these games. I heard recently, wasn't there a studio that was developing a game for Sony, and they got laid off by finding out that the layoffs were happening through Twitter or something like that? It's like, oh yeah, we just found out that our studio's shut down. That's interesting. I wish someone would have told me about it.
It sounds familiar, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't. If that did happen, I can't remember the name of the actual studio.
It's like initial Google search, I didn't find much of anything, so
Yeah.
we'll move on. What did you think about the Marvel like fighting game, like the Fighting Souls game?
It looks fine, I guess.
Kind of reminds me of the DBZ fighters or whatever.
That's honestly not the impression I was getting. It reminds me a lot of the old like Marvel vs. Capcom games.
Yeah. It's weird because they called it like a 4v4 fighting game, and I'm like, how? What? It's like a 2v.
Yeah, you just
whatever.
Yeah, you just switch the characters out like you do in other fighting games.
Yeah, but it seemed like they were almost all fighting on the screen at one time, though. That's what felt weird.
I mean, yeah, that's so. Like in other fighting games, the way I'm willing to bet this works is, you press a button, they come out, do a little special move, then pop back out, or you can hold it down and just fully swap out with that character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for fighting game fans, I'm willing to bet it's like this is huge. They've been eating good these last few years, like damn good.
Mm.
If you're into fighting games, but
fighting games are always that weird aspect of gamers that I never really see. It's like I know like David's a big fan of it or whatever. It's like I know Cole is as well, but I'm like past like those two, or in like Billy, I guess it's like man, I don't. I was like, I don't know a single other person that's really into fighting games.
I enjoy fighting games, but I'm more of a casual fighting games enjoyer. It's like I'm not gonna do that shit where I'm gonna sit in like practice mode and try to get like certain combos down to like the individual frames or whatever.
Yeah.
I tried doing that for Smash Ultimate.
Ugh.
Fuck that. I got so frustrated with that shit.
Nah, I'm alright.
Yeah. So
I'll just
I have had fun with them.
I'll just be okay with never beating Cole or David.
Fair enough.
And the one time the miracle I pull it off, I guess. Yeah, it looks alright. It looks good though. You almost wonder if like they made this one and it's just like, oh, we see Marvel Rivals and stuff like that. And now it's like, let's make our own fighting game now.
I mean, Marvel games just in general have always been pretty big.
Yeah. Tell it to Marvel Avengers.
Except for that one. God knows how they managed to fuck that up.
Oh, man. Yeah. Imagine a timeline where they didn't fuck up Marvel Avengers.
I mean, it'd be the biggest game in the frickin' universe.
Absolutely.
Everyone would still be playing it.
Probably. It's pretty crazy to think about.
They had the easiest W on the planet, and they still managed to fuck it up.
Somehow, some way.
So, looking beyond this state of play, is there anything else that you're hoping to see from, like, the E3 season?
I was kind of hoping to see, like, anything Kingdom Hearts related, but if it was going to be anywhere, it would probably be here at PlayStation, so that didn't happen. I'm hoping that we'll actually see some Hollow Knight Silksong in, like, the Summer Games Fest or, like, the Xbox Direct or whatever. Like, I want to see something that's not just like, oh, hey, it's still coming or whatever type thing we saw in the Nintendo Direct not that long ago.
Still huffing that copium, I see.
I want to see something, because it's like they went and they said, okay, we're gonna bring it, we're gonna show that we're still working on a type thing. I want to see just a little bit more. I'm not saying it's like anything absurd or anything like that, but just a little something.
Just at least a little preview, just so we know that you guys, are still working on it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's really all it is. It's like, because I'd like to see it like released, sometime early next year, probably. That'd be like best case scenario, I think, in my mind. But we'll see. A boy can dream, I guess.
A boy can dream.
Exactly. Other than that, I don't know, the Persona 4 remake that's been rumored to be in the makings for a little bit now. That'd be pretty cool to see. Yeah. Don't think that's going to happen. Or Persona 6, but that's just that's not going to happen at all. I was like, the way Atlas has been putting out games recently, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see anything Atlas for probably not until next year.
Well, another company could always be remastering it for them.
That's true, I guess. It's like the real Hail Mary of it would be would just be seeing Persona 6 at at either of the other two, and I'm like, well, that's even if it is just a teaser trailer, that ain't gonna happen.
No.
So, anything you want to see, anything you're hoping to see in the next couple of days here from the Summer Games Fest and Xbox Direct?
I'm gonna be real. I'm most excited for the indie stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the indie games that have been dropping this last year have been just absolute bangers. So I'm more interested to see what these smaller teams of developers have been working on. Obviously, probably the best game of the year in Clair Obscura 33 was made by an indie team. So, so that I'm interested in. I would say I'm hoping to see an extended gameplay reveal of Outer Worlds 2, but I know for an absolute fact we're getting that. So it's not really a hope, really, just something we're getting.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a preview of FBC Firebreak, and we got that in the PlayStation Direct today.
Yeah. I forgot. I always forget that one's being made by Remedy. It feels like such an odd one.
Yeah. Other than that, is Nintendo doing anything?
From what it sounds like, no. Unless they announce a last minute Nintendo Direct, I don't think so. Because considering that tomorrow the freaking Switch 2 comes out, I kind of doubt it.
Well, that throws away my hopes for a new Splatoon game getting announced.
Fair enough.
Other than that, the only thing I could think of is I don't know, Gears of War E-Day. If PlayStation is somehow letting Microsoft show a trailer for Wolverine, it's sure. I don't know though.
Does you show good faith, Microsoft? Here's Marvel Wolverine.
Yeah, we're releasing it on Xbox.
Voiced by Hugh Jackman.
That'd be pretty freaking cool.
That'd be pretty wild, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think Deadpool will show up in the Wolverine game if it's happening?
Yes.
I can see it happening.
My hopium for the Wolverine game is that we're going to see at least quite a few different X-Men in the game, and it just won't be, Wolverine soloing it for the entire time. I don't know though. That'd be kind of like me expecting more than one of the Avengers to show up in one of the Spider-Man games. So yeah, it's like they have Avengers Tower there. That doesn't mean we're gonna see any of them.
But where are they?
They're in the tower. They're just not coming out.
Man, when the whole place got venomized or whatever type thing, and they just didn't feel
They
they
should
needed to
have
come out.
Dude, I'm gonna be real. That fucking pissed me off.
When a
about
fucking
Spider-Man 2.
bioweapon got launched on New York City, they didn't want to come out of their fucking tower.
To know that there was like an Avengers level threat happening in one of the most populated cities in the world, and the Avengers just weren't fucking doing anything. It's like Spider-Man will take care of it. It's like, I get it if this isn't if this is a world where it's just
Bitch,
like
please.
it's like it's like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
It's only Spider-Man. None of the Avengers are there. The fact that they are there, and like even Peter in game acknowledges that they're there,
Uh-huh.
but they're just not doing shit.
Where the fuck are they?
Why?
Where the fuck are they? Yeah, that's like, I'm like, literally in Marvel Spider-Man 1, there's a bioweapon that gets that goes across all of New York City, and everyone's quarantined basically the entire like second half of the game. And I'm like sitting here going just like, and you don't feel the need to come out of your tower, Avengers? And then with the other one, with the Marvel Spider-Man 2, the whole place gets taken over by fucking aliens. Feels like an Avenger level threat to me.
If they release Marvel Spider-Man 3, which they will, by the way, that happens again.
Right?
Do you think that's what they're already working on, or because I feel like they're working on more than one project?
Wolverine, or they're working on it simultaneously.
Well, no, but it's like they said they were working on Wolverine while making Marvel Spider-Man 2, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine like the Wolverine team is working on Wolverine. So do they have another Spider-Man team working on? I don't know. Are they working on Spider-Man? Are they going to do another superhero, or God, please, are they making another Ratchet and Clank?
God. I don't know. Insomniac is just like, you sit here going just like, how do they do this? And I'm like,
I don't know.
maybe
I would
like,
I would suck their dicks if they released a new
could you imagine
Ratchet and Clank game.
Could you imagine
I'd do
in
it.
1 year?
I would suck that dick.
Could you imagine in 1 year we have Wolverine, like Spider-Man 3, and then Ratchet and Clank 3, basically, in like a year and a half or something like that?
All within like that 1 year and a half time span?
Yeah.
That'd be fucking sick.
That'd be wild.
I think they'd be spreading themselves a little too thin.
I'd almost wonder like
which
which one of these you can tell probably had the least amount of resources, and which of these can you tell probably got rushed at that point. Which they don't need to, just take your time, Insomniac. Don't let Sony beat you down, just like it did Bungie.
Sony, if there's any possibility. So you guys brought back fucking Ratchet and Clank from the pits of hell. You have, I know,
Where all
this
the
is
rest
on
of
the
their
list.
first-party games are.
This is on the list, and we've talked about it so many times. But fucking Sly Cooper, man, and Jak and Daxter, they're right there.
They're sitting there in the pits of hell with Ratchet and Clank. They were just like,
Yeah.
we'll grab you and give you a second chance at life.
Yeah, you guys could be making so much money that's, currently being spent on a fucking Horizon MMO that...
Which doesn't need to exist. It just don't.
No. I have a wild prediction for that game if that's still being worked on. Because I haven't heard any confirmation that they canceled it, which is why I keep bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
If that game actually comes out, I dare say that it's going to get the fucking Concord treatment. I think it is going to be deader than dead on release.
Personally, to me, I feel like it's going to go the route of like The Last of Us, like multiplayer game they tried to put out or whatever. They're going to like say, all right, Guerrilla Games, that's who makes it, right?
Yeah.
It's like head up this while also working on the third Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever game. And they were like, y'all are nuts. I was like, we can't do all of that at once. Like that's just you're setting yourself up for failure. And then they go, what was like, you didn't do that to Naughty Dog, so please don't do that to us. So and then they go, you know what? Good point.
You would hope.
I would
Yeah.
damn well hope. So, yeah, we'll see. One thing I did want to bring up is that a few days ago they had the Unreal 5 like tech demo, and they showed off some Witcher 4 stuff. Did you get a chance to see that at all?
I did see the Witcher 4 tech demo. It was very, very impressive.
It looks really impressive, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say this right now. If the game can come out like this, boy, wouldn't that be something?
Apparently, the footage being shown was being played on a PS5.
Yeah,
Which-
I mean, yeah.
Do you have your doubts?
Just, sometimes it looks too good to be true. It might actually be too good to be true. It's one thing to
Man.
have a tech demo like this and have just a small little bit of a game run like this. But when you have the entirety of the game, we're either going to find out exactly what the PS5 and everything else, like Unreal Engine 5, can do. We're either going to find exactly what it can do, or we're going to find that, man, did they way overshoot this.
Here's the thing about The Witcher 4 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So The Witcher 3, the fact that the game looked good was not the most appealing part of the game. It was like the different branching quests and stuff that people really liked. And that's why people were so frustrated when that was an aspect that was missing from Cyberpunk, right?
Yep.
So if they shot themselves in the foot and said, okay, yeah, no, we need to dumb this down, we're doing this, it's going to be way easier, and they made it to where it's basically like a Witcher version of an Assassin's Creed game, people are going to be pissed. It's not going to matter how good the game looks. Not at all. Not even slightly.
No one will really care necessarily.
If it doesn't play as good as The Witcher 3 did.
Yeah, it's like they like every scene looks great. It looks like it's not even like from a video game. Like I'm just looking at real life and stuff like that, and that's great and all. I have my doubts, though. I have my doubts. I really do. Maybe I don't know. I feel like we've seen this before, though. Remember the infamous Watch Dogs trailer that looked so good, so realistic and stuff like that? And then remember what the game looked like when it actually came out? I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but you can't rule it out.
Well, you can't rule it out. It's hard because they
tough.
sort of did this with The Witcher 3 too.
Yeah.
We know these games, a lot of times it's too good to be true. It's difficult though because in a way it's like, what is that? Hellblade made it work.
Yeah.
That game was incredibly good looking. Now they managed that by having it be absurdly short.
Yeah, that's a very short game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like it looks amazing, but the game is very short. Now, can you realistically do that same quality with the world, the characters, and everything that for an open world game for 100+ hour game with multiple branching side quests and everything like that? With probably the absurdity that will be some like fights with monsters and everything like that, and I go, if you can, boy, that's impressive, and we'll probably set a new standard for like what AAA games could or should be at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I said the same thing with like GTA 6 or whatever too as well. It's like you look at it and you go, I mean, it looks really good and stuff like that.
There are three big games now that are really trying to push that, like,
They're really trying to push this envelope.
super graphical fidelity in an open world game, and that's GTA 6. I still think it's going to be Fable. A lot of the footage they showed off looked really good, and The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
It will be impressive if these games can, meet that level of graphical quality. Like you said, though, I have
and the
my
world
doubts.
interactivity too. It's just like the thing that they showed off with The Witcher 4 is the interactivity that Ciri has with the world and everything like that, and how built out the world is and everything like that as well. And like they even said like there's like no render time whatsoever and stuff like that. And I sit here going just like,
that's silly.
ooh,
That
okay.
seems absurd. Yeah.
It's like I was like, like I said, this is either too good to be true, or we're gonna find out exactly what like the Unreal Engine 5 can do.
That being said, I think there's something to be said about the fact. I think we're slowly but surely reaching what's going to be like the peak of graphical fidelity. Right? We're going to reach that point. I think, if not like next year, at least like in the next couple of years, where games can look so good that they do just basically resemble real life.
Mm-hmm. What was that? Wasn't there like another like Unreal 5 like tech demo that was like showing off like when it was first like being released and stuff like that, where it was like,
are you thinking of The Matrix?
no, it wasn't The Matrix. It wasn't necessarily a game or whatever. It was kind of just like stock footage or whatever of like how good the graphics could be. It was like this like Japanese like subway or something like that. Like there was no people in it or whatever, but like when you looked at it or whatever, it was just like that looks like a real place. You know? I don't know. I just remember that.
Sorry, I'm laughing. It's just, I know what you're talking about. It's like the subway, like an actual subway. I actually remember the scene that you're referring to, but you said that and I thought of like the sandwich chain.
Yeah.
I don't know why I found that funny, but
yeah, there was like something showing off of like that, and it was just like, wow, that looks like a real fucking place. Like it really does. I don't know. Like it's one thing for like tech demos to happen like this or whatever, and like to see it in like these short bursts. It's another thing to see it in the game fully. Like I don't doubt that the cutscenes could look, as good as they do because they're cutscenes. But when you're running around the world type thing, you're killing monsters, or you're walking through a town or something like that, and you start smacking over into people. It's like people instantly point out, it's like, oh, Siri clipped through this one kid or whatever type thing, or like she just like that stuff or whatever. And it's just like, well, that's nitpicking at times. It's just like if they're trying to focus on hyper realism, it can be something as simple as that. It can fuck it all up.
At what point do you think? So, like I mentioned before, we're kind of reaching that graphical peak where a lot of games are coming out and they're all trying to look like true to life, hyper realistic style, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many games, or like how long does that trend need to go on before you think it's going to get stale?
3 years.
That's 3 years?
3 years. I think that people will start getting stale with it by the third year.
Okay.
And then by the fifth year, like fourth or fifth year, it's like that's when people are kind of it's like, oh, it looks about all the same as everything else or whatever, and then the art styles really come about or whatever. It's like when you look at gonna slap some art history on you, which I know I've talked about before on this podcast, where it's like art started as the simple concept and stuff like that, and slowly over time got more and more and more and more realistic to the point where people said it was like hard to distinguish painting from reality and stuff like that. And at some point people just got bored of that, right? And then went to this like super like fantasy style or whatever. Like they were going for the artistic style essence, or like what's it called? Like abstract stuff or whatever type thing.
Abstract, yeah.
Yeah, like abstract stuff like that. And then it kind of just became that nobody did these hyper realistic stuff. They went very abstract with it. And then that kind of just ruled for a while, and then slowly kind of went back or whatever type thing. But there was more of diversity when it came to art pieces and stuff like that. And so it's like I kind of look at it similar to how when you look at art history, that's kind of like what happened. And I think that the same thing will probably happen for gaming, is that at some point we're going to continue the tech, and like with Unreal Engine 5 or whatever else type thing, we'll keep pushing to the point where, all right, we've hit our peak. We've hit our peak. Like this is peak graphical thing or whatever type thing. Like I don't know how we could get any better than this. and then everyone's just going to kind of get bored of it, or we'll have, or like very few games will kind of use that style or whatever. I mean, we're already kind of seeing that with indie games already.
Yeah, it kind of we're gonna slowly get to the point where it's like, yeah, everything looks so real, everything looks so, true to life, and it's like, okay. A lot of games are like that. It's like
when everything looks the same, like who cares?
Yeah, we're gonna get to a point where it's like that's not impressive anymore.
Yeah,
like it looks it looks cool now, and like I'm not trying to dog on the technology.
No.
I find a lot of what these games are trying to do very impressive.
Yeah,
like you said, I'm skeptical that they can reach this graphical fidelity while being like as interactive as they all want to be.
To be as interactive in the world and everything like that, for the world to react to Siri and not that Siri controls the events of the world type thing. Kind of like what whenever an open world game happens, one of the number one things that I always talk about is that, and what people don't kind of talk about when an open world game happens, is that a world feels alive kind of thing. It's like that was like what Skyrim was, right? Like the world itself felt alive type thing, and everyone has been trying to kind of like get a hold of that and like really figure it out type thing, and to varying successes. I think that some things have had that and type thing, but it felt like for a lot of time when it comes to these open world games, it just feels like the world exists for the main character or whatever, like type thing. It's the like the world doesn't move. Yeah, the world doesn't the world doesn't move unless you're there type thing. They're trying. It feels like with The Witcher 4, they're trying to get away from that. Like they're like the world doesn't revolve around Ciri, basically. That Ciri reacts to the world type thing, and that's a cool concept. And I really hope that they can make it work. I really do. I really hope that the game can actually come out like this and everything like that. Because that would be amazing.
We saw hints of that in The Witcher 3 with the way their quests were designed. So this would kind of like be the logical next step. My big thing is like where you're at, basically. I think that would be really cool, and I hope that's where the focus is.
I really hope that's where this is going.
I hope because my biggest fear is like whenever a game does this, oh, look at how good it looks, shit, right? Is what do they sacrifice in order to reach that level of graphical quality? And it's like if they dumb things down, it's like if the gameplay in any way took a step back, is taking a step back from The Witcher 3, right? Or yeah, basically that. It's like at that point I'm not going to care how good the game looks. A lot of people are going to play that and just be like, oh, Witcher 3 is better. Why don't I just play Witcher 3? It's the way a lot of people feel about Oblivion in a way. A lot of people prefer Oblivion to Skyrim.
Yeah, that's why people were asking for a long time for the Oblivion remake, which did happen.
Yeah. I don't know. It's something that I'm worried about. For all these games, for basically any game, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll wait and see how things pan out.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing so many immediate red flags as of right now.
No. I also think that CD Projekt Red realizes that while, Cyberpunk was a huge success for them, it's like we probably shouldn't do it again, another game like that. I mean, I know they're making Cyberpunk 2, but
if Witcher 4 comes out and it's a broken piece of shit, the internet is not going to forgive you.
It's not going to be kind.
You like barely recovered from the Cyberpunk shit, and people actually enjoy that game now. That is not going to happen again.
It's like
capturing obviously that lightning in a bottle twice.
Obviously, it's like you're going to have some glitches here or there. That always happens. It's just don't have any game breaking ones, because I feel like that was the main problem with the Cyberpunk stuff, is that there were game breaking bugs that everyone was experiencing.
The game was basically unplayable for the first couple of weeks for tons of people. It was a broken pile of shit.
Yeah. So as long as it's not like that, that's all that matters in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'll be very curious to see if they can do this. If they can, it's good on them, and
It was a damn good
it's a damn good
looking
job.
tech demo. Yeah.
It's a damn good job. We'll see.
So, Switch 2.
What about it?
Yeah, it's coming out in a few days.
Tomorrow, as of recording this. So, did you go get it one with Evan
No.
earlier today?
No, I did not.
It's fair enough.
I don't have the kind of money to throw away on random
No.
bullshit like that.
No, I threw too much money away to pre-ordering a couple boxes of the Final Fantasy set.
I'm not surprised.
I was like, you know what? Well, I got a couple $100 to spend here this month. Let's do it.
No, I know exactly how my. Here's the thing. It's the only game it's releasing with, or one of the only games it's releasing with, is Mario Kart World. I would get the bundle. I would bring it home. I'd play it for like 20 minutes, and I'd be like, "Oh, cool! Yeah, this was totally a good use of $500." I don't know. I'll wait a year until like more shit is actually on the thing.
Yeah.
And I actually have money that I can spend.
Do you think this is going to be like a Switch or like a Wii U situation?
No, it's still. This is gonna be a massive, like, giant success for Nintendo.
Yeah, I agree with you.
There may be some parents who are, dumb and don't know. Well, I don't want to call them dumb, but it's like I'm sure there's at least a subgroup of parents that are gonna buy their kids like Switch 2 games. They're gonna be like, well, why doesn't it work on the Switch? It's a Switch game. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as bad as the Wii U, though, because even when the Wii U came out, I was kind of confused. I was like, okay, so is this just like a gamepad like accessory for the Wii? They did not do a great job of explaining what the Wii U was. It also doesn't help that for the Wii, it had like tons of accessories for that console already. So it makes sense for why people would just think that it's a new accessory, but I don't know. Do you expect this to be a Wii U type scenario?
It's hard, right? Like,
Yeah.
part of me says yes, but the other part of me says, nah, probably not. Just because, like, I feel like people are not going to be. What's the best way to say it? It's like I think the price points are going to turn off a lot of people, but at the same point, there's probably enough. Nintendo fans that it doesn't really matter in the end.
A lot of people looking forward to the new Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still skeptical of how successfully an open world karting game is going to work. There is a skill up review of it, and I've been avoiding it. I just don't care. But I don't know. What do you think about that? The whole open world karting thing.
It's an idea.
We may have already talked about it, but
kind of. Not really, though. I don't know. It sounds like an idea. I don't know. I guess I really just don't know how it would work, so it's hard to really put judgments on something that you're not really sure how it works in the end. Do you think that people will play Mario Kart Worlds for like 2 seconds and then go back to Mario Kart 8?
No. People are going to be all over that for months at least.
Months, try years. They're gonna pay that for years, baby.
Yep. Same with basically any game that Nintendo ever puts out. I'm a little disappointed that we're not getting a new Nintendo Direct, though. I was hoping to learn a bit more about new games that are currently being produced for the Switch. I feel like there's a lot of, well, we have stuff like, Metroid. We're getting a new Mario Kart. I was just hoping for more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. It's like Donkey Kong looks cool. I'd like them to explain more about what this surge pricing thing they're doing is, but I'm guessing I'm not gonna get an answer to that.
Probably not.
Motherfuckers are making people pay for a tech demo.
Yeah. That's a move. I think it's just like when we got like the what was it, Nintendo Direct not that long ago. I think that was supposed to be like, oh, here's the summer games lineup for the Nintendo Switch 2 because the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out at the time we would normally do this.
I do got one more question in terms of the Switch 2 for you.
Yes.
So obviously one of the big games that came out with the Switch to the point where it was like, yeah, it doesn't matter like what else is coming out. This is the reason I'm buying a Switch. Was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Do you think Mario Kart World has the same pull as Breath of the Wild does?
For a lot of people, probably not, but for a lot of people, yes. I think that's just the best way to describe that.
Okay.
It's like, for a lot of people that don't really care, it's just for the people who play the Mario Kart, right? Like, who just enjoyed playing that or whatever. And it's like, but I feel like there's a good chunk of people who probably play the Switch not for that reason and stuff like that. And so they're just like, I'll wait till the next Zelda game, or I'll wait till Pokemon ZA comes out, or whatever.
That's the big thing where I'm just thinking of. It's like with Breath of the Wild, it's like people are looking, okay, is this game good enough to the point where I'm going to buy a whole new game console just for this one game? At least for right now, because it was the only thing that came out for a few months. For Breath of the Wild, it was definitely yes, because there was a point where for like several months I was just trying to hunt down like a Nintendo Switch just so I could play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, right? For Mario Kart, it's like, well, Mario Kart 8 is already on the Switch. I already own Mario Kart 8, and it's amazing. And this is basically the same thing, but has an open world aspect to it. Is this game really good enough for me to go out and buy a whole new $500 console? Or a $400 console and an $80 video game. $450, sorry. And like I said, for a lot of people, I think the answer is yes, but that's a difficult one.
It's also just like the idea that I kind of look at it kind of like I feel like for a lot of people it's going to be like they'll look at it as like kind of like an OLED, when the OLED came out or whatever. It's like, do I care to get like the fancy new screen type thing?
Mm-hmm.
For some, maybe. For a lot of people, I feel like probably not. Because it just depends on how much you play your Switch. I feel like for both of us, it's like we rarely even touch our Switch. I haven't touched my Switch in a long time at this point.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a long time since I've touched mine.
Yeah, so that's why I'm just like, I don't.
I still find it funny that one of the very few games that Switch games that I've played to completion on my Switch is Super Mario Sunshine. So I do have one more big topic that I'd at least like to bring up because it is something worth mentioning. If you'd be cool with that.
Yeah, go for it.
We have our first potentially official casting for the Legend of Zelda movie. Have you heard about this?
Nope.
Hunter Schafer, let me send you the article. Is currently being eyed to play Princess Zelda. And she looks the part, definitely, I think.
I mean, from that picture, yeah.
Now, this has been. Before I tell you why people have a problem with this, like, in general, like, how do you feel about it? Would you rather some. Do you have any other ideas for people you'd rather play this character? Or?
No, not really.
Okay. So, a very. A subset of people are pissed because she is a trans woman.
Yeah, that's what I was reading from the article you sent.
Yeah.
Big surprise.
And people are being dicks about it.
Wow, would have guessed that? Yeah, no surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Do
I mean, I'd be down.
Do I care if she's transgender? No, I don't give a shit.
My only hope is if she was being cast as Zelda and Nintendo is just like, yeah, we got to let you go because people don't like that you're trans. That'll piss me off if that ends up happening.
Yeah.
Like, I'll actually not go watch the movie if they do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if like all of a sudden it confirms like, oh yeah, she's the one doing it, and then goes like, nah, on second thought, we're gonna find another person.
It's interesting though. I'm surprised that we don't know like more of the cast at this point. I guess it's not coming out until like early 2027, so it's like
yeah, I thought it was a while before it even comes out. So
it's more than a year away, but still, any news that we can get on live action Legend of Zelda, I will take.
It's true. Oh, since we're on live action stuff, did you see the trailer that Netflix put out for the live action One Piece season 2?
I saw the one clip everyone was talking about.
Going with Chopper.
Yeah, I did not see the full trailer.
I mean, it's pretty much just that. It's nothing else other than that. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think the look of Chopper?
Fucking the whole Sonic the Hedge deer thing they have going on.
A little bit.
I'll be honest. I didn't know how Chopper was gonna look in live action. I always thought it'd look kind of gross. It's hard to take an adorable character like Tony Chopper and adapt them into live action, but I don't know. I guess it's fine.
It looks about as good as you'd think it would be, I guess.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I said it. I'm like, I don't think there was a legit like way it would look like that Chopper would look, and me going like, oh, that was great. I just don't think that was possible. So I think it's probably about as good as you're gonna get. I think it's gonna look really weird when you see him next to an actual live action, cast member, like next to like Luffy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or like if he's like treating Nami or something like that, you're like, that's just something about this just doesn't look right, I guess I guess that was kind of just Sonic though. Whenever you'd see like the one dude like pick up Sonic, like wasn't there like in the first like movie there was like one scene where he picks up Sonic and it just looks awkward as all hell.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, I think his voice is okay. He has that going for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Let's be honest.
I'm so excited. I'm excited to watch season 2. I guess I want to see how they adapt, like, because it's starting with Logtown, right? Because that's where we left off last time, and then it'll be Reverse Mountain. God, I hope they don't skip Laboon, but I have a feeling they're probably going to. Like him and Crocus, like when they just pass Reverse Mountain, I have a feeling it's probably going to be skipped. But we'll see.
Let's just... It's impressive that this show even got a second season. Because I remember when like the first season was coming out, nobody had faith that it would be any good, and it kind of just it surprised people. So the fact that we're here,
it was like a solid like 7 out of 10. I wouldn't say it was the greatest thing ever, but I also wouldn't say it was hot garbage.
So the fact that it was not hot garbage was really good.
Yeah. So my question is, are they going to the end of Alabasta and probably just calling it there, or do you think they try and go even further than that?
I'd probably stick to the end of Alabasta if I were them.
Yeah, that's what I'd probably do too. Considering they set up like Baroque Works and stuff like that, you'd think that's where they're going. So
yeah.
My only thing about it is like what people were kind of bringing up on like on a Reddit post that I saw or whatever. It's like, you know, the events of One Piece last, like, it's a total of 3 years total in the entire anime, and 2 of that is spent training. You know, so it's like, and the fact is, it's taken 3 years for them to even make a season 2 of it, like, because it's coming out in 2026. So it's like from 3 years from there. And if it takes another 3 years from there and another 3 years from there, thinking it probably takes like 2 more seasons to get through Alabasta, probably. It's like,
oh man,
you're gonna see like those actors age probably pretty considerably, if I had to guess.
They're gonna need to recast. I mean, I feel like we've talked about this before.
Or like they'll have to like de-age them through CGI or some shit like that, and I don't know how that's gonna look.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, if you're going to go through Alabasta, it's like maybe you're going to have to try and make it just 3 seasons, or you just say like, all right, yeah, we're going to have to recast. And I go, I don't foresee that going well. I
mean, okay, so if they manage
to do these in timely matters, I could see them going farther, but
here's what I was thinking. If they actually manage to make it to the time skip with these actors.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could maybe do that.
At that point, they can recast, but my goodness,
how much
do they need
skip?
To... yeah, you...
Jesus.
They need to go sicko mode with this series if they're going to make that.
It's like... I mean, at that point, you just skip all of Skypiea at that point, and just go straight to Water 7.
Dude, people would be pissed.
Oh my god, people would, especially with like the whole thing with like, oh, that's where we first hear like the drums of liberation and stuff like that, and the fact that even in the first season there was the little Easter egg with Nolan the Liar or whatever when like Nami's like reading to Zoro or something like that, and it's just like, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know if they're gonna ever do anything with that, but it's kind of cool to hear the tale of Nolan the Liar. But then you miss out on Eneru face, right?
No matter what they do for that, it's going to be disappointing.
It's gonna look so shit if they do that. Oh
if they try to CGI that shit, like there's no fucking way.
There's just no way.
So instead, they're gonna have to do like the typical live action thing, where it's just gonna be like a fucking.
Yeah, he's gonna just like have to like really like stretch out his face or some shit. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how you'd even do that.
It's like no matter what they do, it's gonna look shitty and it's gonna be stupid.
Yeah, it will be.
I don't know. Part of me has doubts that I'm gonna get used to live action Chopper.
Yeah.
It's not like a Sonic scenario though, because it's like I feel like this is also the best that they could do.
It really does.
It's just the best they could do. It's not very good.
It's like and the thing is like when he transforms like into his different like forms and stuff like that. Like,
that's gonna look so awkward. Yeah, that's gonna be weird, dude.
Yeah, like when he's like in his reindeer form, it's like, is he just gonna look like a reindeer at that point with a hat? Man, imagine we get to Thriller Bark. What the fuck is Brooke gonna look like at that point?
Just a skeleton. We know what skeletons look like.
Yeah, but what is that gonna look like though? Like, how is that gonna like?
It'll look like a skeleton.
How are they gonna animate that though?
Make an animated skeleton.
I don't know, man.
I mean, it's not going to look like Brooke, which is the problem, because it has to be live action. So, like, some, like, really tall guy, some, like, 6'5" dude is going to wear, like, a morph suit, and they're just going to animate Brooke's skeleton Brooke over it, and it's going to look super much. Shit.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I was like, oh, what are like some like skinny, dude, like Frankie. Really tall guys? Oh God, Frankie! I don't even get me started on Frankie.
we're gonna get to Frankie pretty quick.
You get to Water 7, and there's like this big ass like muscular like cyborg dude or whatever, and fucking Speedo. You're like, bro, what the fuck?
Who do you think they cast as Frankie? Imagine they get Jake Paul to do it.
No, please, dear God, no. Just get like John Cena or like to do it.
No.
I
don't like him either.
I know, but he's like, yeah, at least he's okay with just walking around shirtless with a Speedo on.
You forced me to envision John Cena walking around with inflated like arms and a Speedo, trying his absolute best to talk like Frankie.
Imagine him doing a super.
And now I'm sad.
Super.
I'm sad. I was having a good day up until you said that.
I can already see the memes where it's just John Cena and he's got like the Frankie like big fists or whatever, and he goes, "You can't even see me, bro."
So thank you everybody so much for listening, watching this week's episode.
Oh, fuck. I'm upset at myself for putting that in my brain.
Yeah, no, I'm upset at you too. That's perfectly justified.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, thank you all so much for listening or watching this episode of It Never Ends. Unless you got something else you want to say, I think I'm just going to end it here.
Yeah, no, I already started the outro.
Yeah. Be sure to follow any of the links to them below. Leave a review if you're on Spotify or anything like that. Be sure to tell friends, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube to watch us laugh like idiots.
Mm-hmm.
And give our best Eneru faces that we can do in real life, and that looked just really bad.
It was... Bye.
Bye-bye.